Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor, and I had the luxury of seeing Sonic the Hedgehog this weekend, and I am happy to report that I had a great time with the film. Look, this film has had some controversy even before it got going. The original look of Sonic looked terrifying. We don't need to go through all this. We all remember. And I am just thrilled that the director, Jeff Fowler, everyone involved had the wherewithal to listen to the fans and turn our adorable hedgehog to this instead of this. Look, it wouldn't have worked as well. They're trying to go for a realistic new look, but it's not. It's too hedgehog looking. When you remove sort of the cartoon-esque features that a lot of these CGI remakes are starting to do, Lion King, let's make it real. No, we want fun cartoon characters. Just because CGI can make it real doesn't mean it should. You lose the eyes, you lose the cuteness, the cuddly factor, and it makes a huge difference in the film that they made it look like the Sonic we know and love. Not only do they make it look like the Sonic we know and love, there are so many nods to the games, to the shows. I saw it with Geekdom, Danny from Geekdom 101, who is a massive Sonic fan. I mean, I've seen the cartoon and I've played the games, but I'm not as obsessed as he was, and he was just geeking out like crazy over like song cues from the game and little references and things from the pinball and everything. Like, if you're a Sonic fan, you are going to notice little things in here that you're going to be super stoked about. That only adds to the fandom. Jeff Fowler is a big Sonic fan, and it shows on screen. Yes, they take liberties on some of these characters, and they're making a movie version, a new movie adaptation. But everything they did, I thought actually made it a good movie, and surprisingly, a great video game adaptation. Look, we're not used to this. We're not used to that. And let me clear at the gate. This is a kids movie, okay? It's a kids movie that I think will also appeal to fans of Sonic. I don't think it does stuff like hitting you over the head with fan service. It does nice little Easter eggs that, for me, a non-massive super fan of Sonic, didn't feel like they were hitting me over the head with references, but clearly the fans sitting next to me, they loved it, and I still had a really good time enjoying the movie and everything I knew about Sonic and the game. It's all there, but makes sense in the way they adapted for the film. The storyline follows Sonic in the beginning. We see it. We see the video game world in all its glory. He's running around. It's in the trailer, running around the hill. It looks really cool. You're like, wow, they made it look nice. For the first time, I'm like, all right, cool. That's the world we know from the game, brought to vivid, real life, and it's a sight to behold. It's great. And then something happens that sort of prompts him danger, that he is not safe in his world. And this character basically gives him this bag of rings, is how they use the rings. And the rings are sort of used as portals. He can basically throw the ring out and go anywhere he wants. To sort of, and his whole goal is to basically just jump through worlds to stay safe, because his powers are too strong and people want to exploit them or kill him or all these things. And so that's sort of the premise of the movie. So he's been stuck on Earth in Green Hill. I forget where, but get it, Green Hill. He's there stuck on Earth, and he's been basically living, stalking the townsfolk of this small town, including James Marsden. Where I have him here. James Marsden, who's the local cop, who Sonic lovingly refers to him as the Donut Lord, because he just sort of watches him from afar and sees him talking to donuts. Seems stupid, but it actually is not stupid. It's played in a cute way of he just sort of enjoys a donut once in a while, but that's sort of how Sonic connects it, and obviously the cop's cliche. But James Marsden gives a really great performance. He's done this before in Hop. He's sort of the go-to in sort of these CGI actors reacting to CGI support, co-stars, and he knows how to do it, and I think he did it his best. Because he's done it before in these other movies. He did it really well here and added a fun. You could tell Ben Schwartz, and he added rapport. Ben Schwartz, I believe, from what I've read, did the motion capture along with the voice. And Ben Schwartz does a great job. I'm a fan of Jaleel White from the cartoon. I think it would have been nice to have him back to throw him not only the work but the opportunity, since he sort of defined it. But I do have to say, Ben makes it his own as well, and I'm a fan of Ben Schwartz. I loved him in Parks and Rec. It's nice to see him, and you could tell there's some comedic chops happening there, and I'm sure some improvs and things that Ben brought to the table. But Ben and James have a nice sort of buddy cop back and forth, that works. And it also becomes cute. And there's basically the storyline of the movie, without getting into spoilers, I'm not going to do, but just the basic storyline of the movie is Sonic is sort of alone on Earth, learning how to adapt and afraid to showcase his powers. But he's also sort of the character we know and love from the games. He's got some attitude, the humor, and he clearly just wants a friend. He just wants to find a friend to sort of finally have someone to high-five instead of keep having to high-five himself. There's a sequence where he sort of plays baseball with himself. He's so excited and he's throwing the pitch. And it's a really fun sequence. My kid loved it. It's really funny and fun. And then at the end of it, it's just sad because he's just like, he gets the home run and then no one's there to share with him. And he realizes how lonely he is. And that's sort of what brings the heart to this movie that I was really surprised by. There's a lot of heart in this movie. There's a lot of funny scenes in this movie. It's a great family film. And I honestly swear to say, I think might be one of the best video game adaptations we've seen yet, where they've figured out how to crack the character, make it its own, have the nods to the video games as well, and the series and the lore that comes with it respectfully, but also then lift up and potentially create a franchise here, which they might be doing. So look, I really enjoyed the film. My kid loved the film. The audience I talked to after the film loved the film. I'll be sharing their reaction closer to the film's release, so stay tuned for that. But overall, just really surprising movie. It's, something goes wrong. Obviously, they alert the government when Sonic does something. And then the biggest thing I need to talk about before I wrap up this review is this man shows up, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. Look, he's not the Dr. Robotnik from the games and the cartoon. He's not. He's doing his own thing, and he's doing Jim Carrey, but he's doing Jim Carrey in the best that I've missed for so long. He's doing 90s Jim Carrey. He's just recreating that, but he's doing it all as a villain. He's doing it as sort of this awful person, but it's funny. I loved every minute he was on screen. Several moments I laughed. It was such a joy to see Jim Carrey doing it again, the style, but doing it in a project that felt worthy and that he was having fun with and he committed to, but not going so crazy with it, but keeping it grounded into his character. And by the end of the movie, you will see that it leads to I think there's been leaks and stuff, but people who are fans of the comics and the cartoons and the games will be like, that's not Dr. Robotnik. Just wait. Just wait. And hopefully we will see more. But I have to say, I was a huge fan of Carrey's performance. I think he is a standout in the film. And if you were a fan of him in the 90s, now you've grown up and you have kids, it's the perfect opportunity to be like, kids, that's Jim Carrey. He's really funny. See, you'll like him. Yeah, wait a little bit to see some of those other movies. But, get ready because he's really funny. And he's able to sort of put it into the kids' world. He's done it like Popper's Penguins, and he's the Grinch. Obviously, he's done kids' movies. It's not like he hasn't. But there's Dumb and Dumber and Ace Ventura. Some of them just, you don't want to take your 8-year-old to right away. This is going to go over his head, some of it. But anyway, it's nice to see him sort of given that sort of energy and attitude and comedy here in Sonic, and it works. And he's a fun foil to Sonic and to James Marsden throughout the film. Very surprising stuff. So like I said, Marsden, great performance. Carrey stands out. I loved it. I hope we get to see more of him in this franchise. And thank goodness they did the redesign, because it just would have taken me out of it. I wouldn't have been, this isn't cute. It's not cute. I don't know if they did focus groups or what happened, or if the controversy is correct. There's a big conspiracy theory that they did this on purpose to rally fan support when they changed it. I don't buy that. From everything I've heard, that's not accurate. They just did this and got lost in the work and thought this was great and didn't realize, no, you got to turn it into this. That's what we actually know and love of Sonic. And now we're excited to see Sonic because they did what we want to see. And so many nods to the games. The end credits look amazing. They do this amazingly. You see the game and a lot of little Easter eggs continued. So stick through the credits. Beyond just how cool the credits look, there are two sort of mid-credit scenes that are, especially if you're a Sonic fan, you will not want to leave. So stay tuned and watch them. Really great moments that could turn this into a bigger franchise. So stay tuned for sure. Try not to get it spoiled. Just go enjoy it and watch, because it's fun to watch the end, because I think it leads to more movies, which would be very fun and open up this world to something that I think Paramount and Sega would be very great to have, and something that Nintendo still hasn't managed to do. How did Sonic do what Mario has yet to do? It's beyond me. It's not that hard. You can make a really fun movie with these characters, a loving, heartwarming, fun adventure comedy for kids, for grown-ups, with having the nods that we know and love. It's not, you can do it. We just proved it. The other one I feel like that was close was Detective Pikachu, which really brought Pokemon out into a way that I was very surprised how well they did it. I just didn't love the detective storyline as much. It got lost in that too much for me, and I really would have preferred to watch the world of Pokemon. But this one, I feel like the detective story isn't as serious. Like they go on a mission to figure out something, and then it's really just a cat and mouse game, and it plays much better. And you get to see the characters you know and love, Sonic, and then you get to meet a version of Robotnik that I loved, and it works just better. So overall, pleasantly surprised by this movie. My kid loved it. Audience really loved it. Sonic fans I know loved it. I think we're in for a treat. There are going to be some people who say, no, it didn't do this or didn't that. Of course, but as kids movies go, this one's pretty up there. I was genuinely surprised how many heart moments there were and how many just moments hit actually well, and I was invested, where a lot of these kids movies can get very lazy. And sure, there's a couple moments it's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not to say I give kids movies a pass. I want my kids movies to be good for my kid to actually enjoy story and learn something and have good worthy laughs that we want to rewatch it again. Disney, Pixar tend to do that with their big tentpoles, but this one felt better than a lot of the other sort of CGI live action hybrids we've seen. It just felt fun. It had a good message. Film beats worked. It felt really well done. There's cool sequences, action sequences with Robotnik chasing them and the cars and stuff. It's just and a friendship grows that you really start to root for. Genuine feelings happen, and you're like, wow, I didn't know I'd care this much about these characters in this movie. So very surprised how much I enjoyed this, and my kids enjoyed it, and the audience enjoyed it. I hope you will enjoy it too. Stay tuned. Opens this weekend. Look forward to your reactions. Leave them down below. What do you think? What are you looking forward to? Were you nervous? Are you coming in with a little bit higher expectations now? What do you think? Hit me down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Got more content coming to you soon, so be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. Thanks everybody. Have an awesome one. Bye.